morning, everybody. I have just come off a live and I'm fired up to talk to you about why your lack of success is all in your head. Now, I'm going to be really to the point about this because until I realized this, it was so hard for me to make my business work. I wasn't making any money in my business. Even when I did make money in my business, I self-sabotaged. I felt like crap nearly every day. I wasn't fulfilled in any way, and I was constantly looking for external validation that I was doing the right thing. It was only when I learned this whole process that I realized the power that my mind had in defining and designing and creating the reality that I wanted. So there's three main reasons why you just can't cut yourself a break, because it's all in here. So the first one is I want you to imagine your mind as a software. I want you to imagine that it's like an update on your phone. And you have an update right now that's way out of date. It's full of bugs. It's like a danger thing waiting to explode. Now, the problem is with that is that software is delivering your expectations, the expectation that you have for your life and for what you expect from yourself. Now, those expectations, even when you write down goals and you say, I want to do this and I want to live here and I want to travel and I want to pay for this and I want to be on stage and I want to there's going to be more of you saying that don't truly believe it than those of you saying that really do on a core level believe that to be true. And it's not that there's something wrong with you. It's just that your software is completely outdated. Now that software what it's basically doing is I want you to imagine that it's encasing you in kind of like this globe, whatever you want to call it, like this circle. And until you can become aware of those expectations and you can start to rewire your software, it's like you're constantly hitting up against this glass that, whichever way you turn, whether it's a ceiling, whether it's in front of you, whether you turn to try and go another direction, somehow you keep hitting against the same old crap over and over and over again, because the software is delivering your expectations, and your expectations are a sort of almost the physical manifestation of your subconscious belief systems, right? That's primarily why you keep the same thing keeps happening in maybe in a different variation over and over and over and over again. And what we do as business owners is we keep buying another strategy, like do this and hit 6 figures in 6 months, do this and create this 500,000 strong email list, do this and learn how to create the perfect sales funnel. And yes, they all have their place, but the point is we have to have the mental software to support the implementation of the strategy. Because when that strategy doesn't work the first time, if you don't have the courage and the resilience, you won't be able to take a step back and say, okay, that didn't work. What do I need to do differently? It's the same as one of the problems I hit my head up against over and over again was buying courses because I wanted to make more money and I wanted to actually work with actual clients rather than just giving a load of free content away and not actually working with anybody. Was the minute that it came to getting on a sales conversation, I couldn't do it. I didn't want to tell somebody what my prices were. And I got into that whole thing of, and I give you this, and I give you this, and I give you this, and I give you this. And I was so invested in trying to tell them what they would get that it sounded desperate. So anything around sales for me was a massive no-no until I did the money coaching, which is obviously why I'm so passionate about it now. So number one, the reason you can't cut a break is because your expectations are holding you in this sort of like transparent globe that you just can't get out because you don't know the expectations and the beliefs that are formulating kind of like this global view of your world for you. The second thing is that we are fundamentally wired for comfort. So even if right now you're in a position in your life and your business where you're unfulfilled, even if you're under earning, even if your relationships are crap, even if your health isn't the best, even if you wake up and like, oh my God, I've got to get through another day, there is safety in that certainty. You know what's coming. You know you're in control of the emotional discomfort. But when you put yourself out there and you don't know if your sales are going to work, you don't know if someone's going to say yes on the phone, you don't know if anyone's going to respond to your social media post. I mean, heaven forbid you have a social media post that nobody likes, because that's obviously the end of the world. But when you're wired for comfort and you don't learn how to develop courage and resilience and vulnerability, you're never going to be able to do what it takes to get to that level of your business, right? Now, let me feed that back into expectation again. I don't know about you, but when I first started out in my business, my language is very much I just want to earn enough too. I just want to get another client in. I just want to hit that financial target. And it was soul destroying for me. So, but at the same time, because it was so limiting, because it didn't really light me up, because it was the belief that that thing would make me feel better about myself, it didn't stretch me enough to make me find a way to get to a different level. Hope that makes sense. So when we're wired for comfort, even doing the little things seem scary. So and because we have this veil of illusion in front of us that our belief systems give us, we can't possibly think that in ourselves that level of success is possible for you. Whether it's the best-selling author, whether it's getting on Oprah, whether it's talking on stage, whether it's being, setting your own charity up, whether it's going to Necker Island, whatever those are, for most people, that thought process will set off a trigger of events in your brain that goes, no, 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 no. We want to turn it around and we go, yes, 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 show me how, show me how, show me how, give me the strategy, I will implement. That's the bridge that most people don't ever get across. And so they're constantly pushing against something and wonder why they don't get anywhere. And the feedback says, you're crap. Of course this isn't going to work for you, right? So we're wired for comfort. Now, what kind of like wires all that in together is the lack of being able to break free from this transparent globe, plus the fact that we're wired for comfort. What actually happens is the thoughts we predominantly hold on the dashboard of our mind give us more feedback about why people like you can't get to the places that other people get to. It's called the reticular activating system in our brain. I'm not going to go into the whole science of it, but basically, like when I bought my new car earlier in the year, all of a sudden everybody had that car, right? When now that some of you know that my dad's not very well, and literally everywhere around me I'm hearing stories of other people's parents not being well, death, dying, wills, all these kind of things, that it's around me all the time. Because what I'm holding in my mind says this is important to her, let's show us more of that. So when we're suffocating within limited belief systems, when we're craving certainty and comfort, what your brain does is feeds back to you more of what you want. So you compare yourself to people on social media. You don't get the sales. You don't find the ideal clients. It's feeding back what you're expecting. And eventually, unless you start to break out of that, you keep getting what you tolerate. And if you don't want to tolerate that crap anymore, you have to develop the courage and the resilience. You have to work on your mental faculties. You have to change your software. If you don't change your software, you will never change your life. It is as simple as that. And it can be both the most excruciating process, but also the most fulfilling process. Right? So there's 3 reasons why there's lots more, but as I was thinking about this morning, I just come off a training call, that those 3 things are your driving force. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about you have to break the habit of being you. You are not your thoughts. You are not your behaviors. You can change both of those things, and the fundamental thing of you will still be the same, but you can function at a different level. That's why I have to implement high performance coaching with my intuitive spiritual coaching, because I don't believe you can have one without the other. The success is actually a series of practices, a series of habits, a decision about who you need to be. Success isn't someone. Success is a series of things that someone is prepared to do to get them to the level they want to go at, which is why most people in the world will never get the life that they want. And it makes me incredibly sad. That's why I'm thankful for the journey that I've been on over the last, God knows how many years, like 20 odd years, to get to the stage now where I know this in my heart and soul to be categorically true. If you can prioritize your mindset instead of buying another strategy to build your email list, get your diaries full of people, learn how to talk, learn how to sell, they're all important. But you have to have the software to support the bigger ambition in the first place. Otherwise, you will continually self-sabotage and come back to what you feel comfortable with. There's a theory that that our bodies, our fat cells have like this, I don't know what they call it, but imagine it's like a comfort zone. Our bodies have an optimal weight that they want to stay at. It keeps drawing us back to that weight. So unless we change things up, like we start doing HIIT training, we maybe like cut out meat or cut out dairy or cut out carbs, we're going to keep coming back to what our body knows to be comfortable, which is why you get so many people obviously that lose a lot of weight and then sort of put it back on. There's a lot of mental work there as well. But what I'm saying is that you will keep trying to suck yourself back to what you believe to be true, because when you step back into that, oh, this is what I know. But it's not your potential, it's not your purpose, it's not where you're showing up as your fullest self, it's just the certainty of knowing what you can expect in that space. But living in certainty is a surefire way to be living with regret at some point down the line. It feels like I have to be someone else that's so not me. I don't know how to get comfortable in this new idea of me. It's literally, Joe, like around feeling into it and how can I put it? It's like putting a new outfit on. It's the only way that I can describe it. It's challenging because it's not what you've known. And I do have lots of clients that really kick back when I say, right, we're going to create your personal success identity. Like, you've got to be somebody different. You do have to be somebody different, because the person that you are right now got you to where you are right now. But when you're ambitious and driven and you want to live a life of purpose, passion and profit, you have to create a different reality for yourself. You have to be a different person. But the truth of the matter is that process, whilst it feels like we're doing more, we're actually shedding layers so we can come back to the truth of what we are, which is limitless in potential and possibility. We have to come back to the truth that it's only our logical thinking, it's only our software that tells us where our limitations are. In truth, we are not limited. If we were limited, you wouldn't see the amazing stories all around the world of people that have overcome huge adversity and succeeded at life. You know, people with no limbs climbing mountains, right? The Australian guy that wanted to commit suicide because he was born with sort of no arms and legs. Now he travels around the world and he inspires people. People have come over so much more adversity than what most of us ever have to deal with in our life, but we get sucked into it because society tells us that's where we want to stay, and society drives to keep us small like that. And I'm out here to change that. So Joe, just allow yourself to know it will feel uncomfortable, because it's different behavior. It's no different to setting an alarm and getting up at 6 o'clock to go to a gym when you've never done that in your life. It's no different to giving up meat when you've eaten steak every day for the last 10 years. It's just the challenge. But you have everything you need to face that challenge and to grow and to trust that as you change what's on the dashboard of your mind, the transmutation of that energy from universe into reality becomes something so magical. And there's almost this tipping point, I find, that for so long we're driven to run away from the pain. And then as we do that, if we keep working on the mental clarity and if we keep moving through and we keep the high performance habits going and we keep doing the soulful inner work, at some point there is this beautiful tip point where suddenly we can see a bigger version for ourselves, and suddenly it takes your breath away because you realize that you've been holding yourself back for so long, and now you can start moving towards the pleasure. There is still pain in that process, because there are still things you'll have to let go of. You're always in the middle of a learning curve, new level, new devil. Absolutely, I don't think we ever get to a space of complete acceptance, because the more we go for, the more we drive. But Joe, if it feels like that, for me, it's an absolute sign that you're doing the right thing. So have some faith in yourself. You know, if I look back now to where I was when I had the 2 children and I was depressed and I became a single parent, and I had this conversation with my husband just yesterday, like, I'm not that person anymore. 10 years ago, I worked in an office for 6 hours a day. I took the kids to school. I worked in the office. I came home. I cooked dinner. I cooked and cleaned. I did the washing. I did the ironing. We sat down in front of the TV every night and got pissed on a weekend. That was my life. And that, for whatever reason, I had to go through that process. But I am not that person anymore. And so that's why part of the process for many of us is we have to lose some relationships, because we literally are not the same person. So when I say it's all in your head, I say that with a great deal of love, in the fact that if you really want to kind of smash 2019 and get into 2020 in a whole new headspace, please think about clearing out the thoughts and beliefs that don't serve you. Think about doing some work around changing your mindset so that you can decide who you need to be, so you can do the things that you need to do, so you can have the things that you want to have. I don't believe for one iota that there is somebody out there that is more deserving, more clever, more special, more likely to succeed than you. Anybody that decides to succeed will succeed. I think it's a blanket theory, simple as that. If you make the decision that success is the only option, you will do it. If you have a plan B, you'll probably succeed at plan B, right? Which may just be holding on to what you've already got. We need to let go of certainty. We need to step into courage. We need to make change a choice rather than when crisis makes the change happen for you and then you have to react to it. So I hope you have found that helpful. If you're watching this and you're not in my Facebook group, please come join me. I give loads of stuff away there for free. It's a great community of people. There's lots of resources, trainings and so on. You can find it at Your Rich Life. There's actually a link on my Facebook page to come join. Come and join the party. This is going to be an amazing year. We're going to go out with some fireworks and I have some exciting stuff coming up for you to make sure that 2020 is the best the year that you have. And it starts with you deciding that you will be successful and that you will develop the courage, the resilience and the vulnerability to take that journey, and you will not give up on yourself. Because when you invest in the bank of comfort today, you withdraw from the bank of regret tomorrow. And I don't want any of you to experience that. Have an amazing day. Big love and blessings to you all. And Joe, I'll see you in a few weeks at the retreat. So exciting. Big love, everyone. Bye for now.